Hi, you're looking at a website for Hoverboard Technologies. This is a follow-up to the video I did for the website for Qualia, which is the parent company, tech incubator. This is the consumer product, battery-powered, one-wheeled skateboard. You can kind of see here, it's got a clear wheel, had LED lights. There's a magnesium alloy chassis. It was the Lexus. It was the Rolls-Royce or the Ferrari of consumer products in this category. Similar in some regards to the one wheel. And so my role when I worked at Gorilla Branders, that was the agency. The client, of course, was Hoverboard Technologies and Qualia. Social media content and website content, primarily the social media content. I was social media and content director at Hoverboard at the time when we did this project. Laying out content for the website, like the copy, was part of my role and responsibility here. So some specs on the board. This picture here and also right here. So we had videography and photography done at Half Moon Bay, which is just south of San Francisco, and then also on the campus at Stanford U. These photos are from the Half Moon Bay shoot. Also became the basis for social content. I'll show that in another video. Buyer number 5, Konstantin Othamer. We had a video with him. Cool guy. Basically into all kinds of board sports. Surfing, paddleboarding, snowboarding, skateboarding, battery-powered boarding. It was not a cheap board. And actually I'll talk about that in a minute here as far as the branding and buyer personas and some of the lessons in retrospect that I think are to be learned from this. So magnesium alloy chassis, I think I might have mentioned that, Bluetooth speakers, LED lights, had a range of up to 20 miles. I think 12 is what we put on the website. Featured in all these places: Mashable, USA Today, TechCrunch, Yahoo Finance, Huffington Post, Digital Trends, CNET, all of that stuff that earned media write-ups, article write-ups and mentions became the basis for social media. That was great. We got on live with Kelly and Michael. It used to be, Regis and Kelly, Regis Philbin, and it's now Kelly and Ryan Seacrest, Kelly Reaper, Ryan Seacrest. The CEO literally rode the board out on the show. That became part of the TV show, and that became the basis for great social content. We took it to the board to Tumblr headquarters in New York and Rob Report, luxury product reviewer magazine, and people test boarded it. We did a demo day, which you could sign up for on the website, and all kinds of people, rode that. We had tons of video and interviews with people talking about it. All of that stuff became social content. And the layout for the content for the website, it was one of my other responsibilities. Like the same guy that is on the paddleboard above, Konstantin, this is his customer testimonial. I've got a boosted board, a one wheel, several other electric boards. I thought this was a me too, but when I actually put my hands on it, whoa, it's definitely not a toy. Everything's custom. You can see where the money goes. It's like a Ferrari or a Tesla. That's what he said. In retrospect, I think that as an agency, now it wasn't my direct role, I did have some contribution to tagline development and bio with Qualia and with Hoverboard on their social media, and with writing taglines for the brands. I was not involved in the entire brand book for them. And nevertheless, though, it's a good lesson to learn, to look back on, because later, a couple of years after Gorilla Branders was no longer working with Hoverboard Technologies, they redesigned the board with, instead of a magnesium alloy, it was aluminum, so less money. I think it added weight. And they lowered the price to be on par with one wheel, which maybe is something we should have done on the front end. One wheel's, $1,500 is a lot of money. It's already kind of a luxury item compared to, you could go get a skateboard with probably Tony Hawk branded everything with the trucks and the wheels, etc., and spend a couple $100 as opposed to, 3,000 or 4,000, or if you really wanted to get in early with the beta testing. or buy the one prototype alpha prototype board. That's really kind of a Kickstarter fundraiser, both of those. But $3,000 to $4,000 is a lot of money compared to $1,500, which is already a lot of money. So in a way, it's like a luxury item above an existing category that could probably rightly be considered a luxury item. And in retrospect, I think, my opinion, that we probably made a mistake. Now, anyone that's done agency or client work knows that there's what you think the client should do and what the client wants to do, and can be a tug of war there, and you don't always prevail. Sometimes the client wants to do something else anyway. And I'm not sure how those conversations went, but I think looking back on it, that probably to make the luxury on top of luxury stick, that we needed to have a true celebrity spokesperson. Like if we gave this to a Kardashian and they talked about it on their Instagram, that could have really made it fly with an elite crowd. But I think that in a way there was a mismatch where they were trying to make it appeal to people that were interested in higher end products, but not necessarily the super rich. And they needed to sell more of them volume wise than just you're not going to sell a lot of Ferraris, right? You're going to sell more Corvettes or Mustangs even, right? Other muscle cars. So in a similar way, I think that there was a missed target there that came down to a brand strategy and buyer persona. And if you really wanted to go for that more exclusive, and that there's another level of marketing to make it exclusive that we didn't aim for. So I guess it's kind of a website review and just sharing thoughts on the brand messaging and buyer persona development. It was a good lesson, I think, to look back on in retrospect.